laugh, but only when
Every
I laugh.
time we talk, these should be turning red. I don't understand.
That's not how that works. It's not how
Everything
that goes.
everything is wrong, Conrad.
It's not. Like the key is that waveform. When we're speaking, we want it to be big enough to see, but we don't want it to go above that. When we laugh, if it goes a little above that, that's fine. But if it goes so far above that the waveform is completely gone, there's no wave at all, it's just form, then it's fucking wrong.
I just want this to sound like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like distortion sound, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sour Hour. I'm Austin.
I'm Conrad.
and I'm Joe.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to say it a little louder, man.
And I'm Joe.
Okay, you got to say it a little quieter now.
And I'm Joe.
That was too quiet, I think?
No, I think that'll work. We
right,
can
well,
work with that.
yeah,
Good
I'm
job.
not-
You're welcome.
I'm the special guest today.
Emphasis on special.
Very.
Emphasis on guest.
I'm confused. So do we just call him mentally incapable and saying he's gonna fuck off next episode, or what?
I'm
No,
just,
he's here permanently and he's special.
I'm the janitor at their 5-star studio.
Please don't lie. We're in a basement. Everyone knows.
You don't clean shit.
Shut the fuck up.
This feels really bad. Hey, this is Joe. Let's shit on him for 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, only 5, though. After that, we have to say, like, he dresses nice.
I do dress nice.
So, yeah, this is Sour Hour, a place where we just sit and talk about shit that's stupid and that we don't like, or just shit in general.
Yeah.
So we just
there's
get to complain about whatever we want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or just talk about whatever.
If you got an interesting topic, that's fine. If there was something like this week in the news where you're like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life and I wish I was dead.
Dude, the Joe Biden with the anime girl memes is pretty good.
Yeah, well, the whole thing about Joe Biden is pretty good. I love that people are trying to force him like he's a fucking actual candidate.
Bro, he's the next Hillary. I swear to fucking God.
He's
Like, it's gonna happen.
No,
Dude, he
it's-
touches kids weird. Like,
no. See that? Okay, the thing is, oh shit, Austin. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to move my mic because I can't talk and not look at you guys. Your beautiful faces.
That's fine.
There we go. The thing is, so like that's a weird way to put it, but I'm gonna have to move this back a little. Okay, that's a weird way to put it, but it is also like an actual thing to think about, because when you think about like what is the Republicans' main way of beating their opponent when their primary runner is a fucking orange turd, right? You can't be like, duh, President Trump is a great guy, because like we've all seen, it's been 4 years of us digging up shit on this guy, and it's an endless stream. Like we still haven't hit rock bottom for the shit that he's done.
untouchable.
But if we get somebody like Joe Biden, who's like kind of a goofy looking dude, he's only ever played second fiddle to a president. Honestly, his policies back in the day make him look really shitty. Like the extreme criminalization of holding marijuana that he did back in '92.
Yeah.
That looks bad. That makes it like, even though the Republicans would also have, or most of them would have also done that shit, they don't have to bring that up when they smear shit. Nobody's
straight
gonna
up.
fact check. And then on top of that, when you're doing a smear campaign against somebody else, you want pictures of them that make them look really bad. What looks worse than an old dude creepily fondling a little girl's shoulders while smiling, and she looks like she wants to fucking die?
As I say, he looks dead. He almost looks worse than Prince Charles, in my opinion. And have you seen pictures of him recently?
Not recently.
There's a
really-
picture of him in a car, like, leaving the fucking hospital after maybe, like, his 10th fucking stroke. And, like, you literally look like a dead man walking. You do not look alive.
Corpse on a chair.
He looks like a... It's not good.
So yeah, the problem with Biden is, even if his policies were great, which they're not necessarily, and even if he actually had people's support, he's just so easy to make look bad. I mean, look at what they did with fucking Hillary, right? Like all those pictures of her going, wah, where all her wrinkles were super exposed.
Yeah.
That was the picture for every fucking campaign. Like, do you want this wackadoo fruitcake coming for you? Or do you want this guy? And it'd be a picture of Trump from like 20 years ago, back before he looked more like a powdered Cheeto that exploded in a microwave than a person.
His bronzer's on fleek.
Yeah.
Except on the eyes. He's got like reverse Gara eyes where like Instead of like dark rings and like love tattooed, it's been oranged over, and he's got like white around his eyes.
Bro, he's a Martian on a covert mission.
He's a
looks
reptilian.
like it, yeah.
He's the closest to a reptilian I've
like-
seen in office.
Like, that's just face camo for his mission. He's from Mars.
What do humans look like? I believe they are orange.
They have the white around the eyes.
My eyes cannot get orange. They will never notice.
Bro, his fucking wife looks like Orochimaru.
She absolutely does. Long ass Naruto up in there.
That dead ass is Orochi. Like, I saw it was on Twitter like in 2016, back when I was just a wee little high school student, and it had those two's faces like next to each other. I'm like, wow.
Dude, and his kid looks like the rich kid, like the rich white kid with like the front teeth.
Bro, he looks like every Nickelodeon like villain like in those reality TV shows.
He absolutely
He's
does.
just shy of Bling Bling Boy levels of my god.
Yeah.
Bro, at least Bling Bling Boy, like he's not afraid to show it, you know.
No, but Baron looks like he isn't afraid to show it either. It honestly looks
He looks like he always pooped himself though. Like,
it looks like if Baron were to walk into a room and somebody were to be like, yeah, look at this, it's that faggot. He would literally turn around and flick $100 bill at them and be like, pick that up.
Dude, he's fucking Ioma from My Hero. He's so busy being fancy. He'd be like, you look like a turd, and he'd be like, oh.
Since we're on the topic of annoying ass like kids, like nothing's worse than like, so when I worked at Goodwill,
Yeah.
Derek, I love Derek, wherever you are, Derek. I still love you. But his son is literally like Balgriff's kid in Skyrim. Like, he'd just walk in.
He'd walk in and be like, another traveler here to lick my father's boots.
Yeah, and I'm like, bitch, your dad just fucking runs a Goodwill store. Like, just shut the fuck up.
Listen here, you little shit.
Yeah.
Your dad digs through other people's trash for a living.
He literally, like, and he always had his fucking Cub Scout fucking satchel on him. Like, such a bitch.
He lives in the woods because his dad digs through people's garbage.
And I'm like, dude,
We love you, Derek.
I'm like, Boy Scouts, aren't they going bankrupt? Because
No,
the
the Boy Scouts were in deep shit. They like tons of like the child touching thing definitely has resurfaced.
The Boy Scouts can't get their fucking shit together. It was already not a great thing when I was in it, but like these days it's just like, hey, it turns out any adult who would willingly stand around like 15 children might not be all there. And like over half of them weren't all there.
If you bring a grown man and 13 kids into the woods, and that's it.
Yeah. Where's the parental supervision? Nobody would ever touch a child.
Don't know, they will.
It really...
Also, they don't make money because they chose the last bet where girls get bomb-ass cookies, they get fucking holiday popcorn.
Well, even girls, I fucking hate Girl Scouts, bro. Like, their cookies are expensive as fuck. You get like 12 of them in a box. It's $5 fucking for that. Or you could just go to Walmart, get fucking great value, any of the flavors they sell, and it tastes the exact same. It's $1, you get 1,000,000 of them. So
no, to be fair, the Girl Scout peanut butter stuff, or specifically the peanut butter patties, the peanut butter inside is closer to Reese's peanut butter than the ones you get at Great Value.
Dude, cheap fake peanut butter sucks ass.
dude, I love it. What the fuck?
Yeah,
it's salty as shit. I love it.
I'm a big fan of cheap fake peanut butter. Look, it's probably just because I grew up really white trash. But something about cheap fake peanut butter.
Wait, how white trash? Like Cheese Whiz white trash?
Dude, Cheese
No,
Whiz
we
is
were
good.
too poor for Cheese Whiz. Cheese Whiz is expensive. Dude, it's like $3 for a can of that stuff.
Dude, it's like $4. It's not even $3.
Real cheese is like $5 for a pound. Cheese Whiz, you're paying $5 for 2 ounces. That's not even close. There's no competition.
You grew up in Wisconsin, though. Cheese probably fell out of the sky.
Yeah, Cheese Whiz didn't. That's the thing. We could go down to the local grocery store and get fucking fresh cheese curds whenever those would actually happen, because that was like an in-season sort of thing. But when the fresh cheese curds would come out, you can get like a whole fucking pound of that stuff for like $2. Which, granted, you're basically, not getting cheese you can use in everything else, but upside is you get cheese curds and they're so fresh they still have the air pockets in them, so when you bite them they squeak.
That's so good.
That's so good.
At River Falls, when I went there to the university there, oh my god, like they make their own cheese and ice cream there.
Yeah.
It is genuinely So fucking good. I gained 10 pounds off just eating ice cream every day because
he's got, like,
cafeteria
infinite.
food sucks after a while.
The thing is, like, people like to shit on Wisconsin, right? And I'll agree. Having lived there, it's easy to shit on because it's a bunch of fucking stupid alcoholic hicks who sit around fucking diddling their cousins and blowing up their hands with fireworks.
God. I got a fucking story about
Cousin diddling?
cousin diddling, sibling diddling, or
Ooh, boy.
Oh my okay, so
straight incest.
I was in Florida.
Welcome to the incest corner.
Yeah, no stepsisters here. This is for Southern brother lovers, brothers who fuck.
Well, I thought they were Southern. They talk Southern and everything. But okay, I'm getting there.
Anyways,
I should just get to the fucking
yeah,
story.
story.
Sarah's my girlfriend. We were visiting family in fucking Florida, and you know, it's either you live in a fucking trailer house gated community, or you live in a mansion. And my family lives in a trailer house gated community. They have a pool there, so I was at the pool visiting my grandparents, and there's this Southern ass, buck ass, fucking bitch ass hick dude, buck ass teeth and everything, talking all Southern and shit with a kid that looked like one eye was bigger than the other, and then some Southern ass hick bitch girl, and he was like, the Southern dude was like touching her tits and shit and like groping her in the fucking pool, and I'm like, please tell me that you guys aren't related. Please tell me. And they're like, hey, have you talked to mom lately? When is she coming to the pool? And I'm like, oh, fuck. So right there, I was like, oh, this is bad. So like Sarah and I, we got up from the hot tub. We're like, let's just go fucking drive around on the golf cart and just forget this ever fucking happened.
But you can't. And that's the problem. When you see that, it's scarring forever.
It's a little damaging, and it gets worse. So
Could I just, before you go on, props for that fucking transition, because that was smooth.
it gets worse, hands down. So it was around New Year's when we were visiting, so everyone was visiting family, especially old people. They die. So anyway,
As they do.
like 2 days later, we went back to the pool, and they were there again, and we're like, ah, fuck. Well, I want to go in the hot tub. I don't want them to ruin our time. Let's just go in the fucking hot tub. They were in the pool anyway. Just doing their thing. Their whole fucking fleet of family that all were fucking weird as shit just show up, and it was so bad. Like, there was grandparents, fucking the people's moms, uncles. It was just a fucking hoedown in the fucking cold pool. And like, it got bad because there was this other girl in the hot tub, and we were talking to her, and she seemed normal. She said she was from Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, she said she's a dairy farmer. She has like, I don't know, fucking 500 cows or something, some ludicrous shit. I'm like, that's impressive. That's a lot of nipple right there. And
that's a lot of tit.
Yeah, it really is. And by God, that was their mom, and I didn't know it. And once we figured that out, like, Sarah and I just were getting really creeped out. So we just, like, were sitting on the side of the pool, just trying to, like, just hang out with each other. It was still warm outside, kind of nice. Better than Minnesota weather, for sure. And they started playing, like, country songs. Except this country song was literally about fucking your family members. And then they all, like, grabbed shoulders, all in the hot tub together. And, like, I was like, they all were singing along. They all knew the lyrics by heart.
That's their orgy song. That's the song that plays when they get their family orgy on.
I thought they were about to do one, and we dipped. And we picked up word that they were leaving soon, though, thankfully. But we didn't go back to the pool until we knew they were gone. Because, like, they literally started, like, locking arms and, like, you know, all going side to side in unison.
Deep-throating,
I'm
like, the guy next to you.
Cousin, you know, and I'm just like, I thought we were better than this.
Dude, we've come to this conclusion so many times.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. You're officially a member now. When you have the sudden realization, like, wow, humanity hasn't advanced at all. When we look at, like, the Greeks and we're like, wow, I can't believe they just fucking, like, were openly pedophilic in the streets and stuff. And then we get to the modern days and somebody's like, yeah, here's Epstein. He's basically openly a pedophile and openly sells kids to adults. And you're like, okay, so never mind. It hasn't changed. It's just slightly more illegal, but it didn't stop anything.
No, it didn't. It's still the same.
It's less motivated by pure evil intentions. It now also has money in it.
Yeah,
it's
big money in
it's
it.
It's almost more pure evil just because of that. Though.
Yeah, it's a step above. Where like you're doing it because you're evil. And now you're doing it because you're evil for money.
I was just saying, like now you seem like a villain. Like
yeah, like one of those villains that like somebody would write as the original villain for their movie and then change it at the last minute because it's just too much and test audiences didn't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah,
that kind of villain. It's like
it's ludicrous. Fuck, dude, fuck. Maybe I shouldn't go on this podcast.
No, it's fine. It's good. This came from an earlier conversation. I can't remember what it was about. So
we were talking about Wisconsin and cheese.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. How white
into...
trash I was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had a hound named Bumpus.
Bumpus?
I definitely spilled Coca-Cola on my neon sweater.
That's fine. It washes out.
Shit.
But yeah, because my dad really liked the Christmas Story, that movie about the kid Ralphie.
Yeah.
And the hounds that come in from the neighbor and destroy the turkey were the Bumpus's hounds. So my dad named the hound Bumpus. He was a big stupid idiot, just like most hounds are. And he got hit by a dump truck.
Good
like,
car.
Flew like 70 feet, and that's how my parents remember Bumpus.
Jesus Christ!
When they tell us the story of Bumpus, they're like, "Yeah, Bumpus. Shame he got hit by that dump truck and flew like 70 feet. Yeah, we had to bury him in the ditch." So that's the story of Bumpus is. Good dog,
he did
stupid
get bumped.
Idiot, hit by a dump truck, buried in a ditch. That's Bumpus. That's how white trash we were.
Dude, Bumpus being buried in a ditch reminds me of that flat cat that you saw.
Dude, oh my god. That was back in elementary school. I forgot about that. Okay, I'll tell us. It's not that long of a story, but... So I used to walk home from school every day, and during the wintertime, someone ran over a fucking cat. And... the cat was just it was flat. Like, it was impressively flat. Like, flat Stanley ass shit. Like, except that it was, I don't know where its other eye went, but it was missing an eye, but the other eye was just, like, popped out. Which is kind of, like, terrifying. I was like, I don't know, like 8?
Yeah.
I don't know how good 8-year-olds can handle seeing that. Like, that's some surreal shit. And, like, we would just say hi to Pancake every day, like... walking by, like, my friends and I.
It's the coping mechanism.
Yeah, we just say hi to them, and, like, I just, like, leave offerings there.
It's so fucking scarring to the brain that you're like, I have to just accept that this is alive, otherwise my mortality is it's imminent.
Oh, yeah, and then when it was springtime, dude, that fucker smelled so bad. Like, I hated walking by it.
So when I worked at Taco Bell, this one day, it's not a flat story, it's quite the opposite. It was the end of spring, starting to go into summer, and I guess at some point a duck had died, and it was just buried under the snow. And there was like this is maybe 8 or 9 years ago, back when snow would actually pile up around here.
Yeah.
Global warming wasn't
back before
back before it was either a winter with no snow or a winter with all the snow, and there was no in between. Just every winter always had some snow. Mm-hmm. So the way our Taco Bell was situated, there was a movie theater parking lot, the Regal 16 in Eagan. If you guys are in Eagan, Minnesota, go check it out. I hear it's better. I don't fucking care enough to go see it. And then there is a Taco Bell in that parking lot. That Taco Bell's still there. So the movie theater parking lot is huge. It's ridiculously big.
Yeah. Like,
far bigger than it has any right to be, because it can't seat all those people. And somewhere, like, closer to Cliff Road, there's, like, the little median at the edge of the parking lot, a grassy hill, sidewalk on the road. So this duck had died somewhere close to that grass and had been just buried in snow, because that's where they push it. So it had been encased in ice like Captain America for the entirety of winter, just sitting there.
Some caveman shit.
Yeah, just like unable to move, not rotting, just completely preserved. Nice, fresh, dead duck. And come spring, it had been a very slow spring. So the ice like was pretty much still there until the very beginning of summer. So that ice pretty much flash melted over the course of one day, leaving this fresh but very long dead duck sitting on the corner there. And this duck started rotting immediately. And it was intense how quickly it rotted. Like,
Dude, it's gross.
so you know
so
when
gross.
you like hit an animal and it dies on the side of the road, but there's no rupture in the body, how it just continuously inflates.
Yeah.
So like every day we'd come outside of Taco Bell and we thought it was the trash, because Taco Bell gets some nasty trash, right? You throwing all that fucking nasty shit away at the end of the day. So these massive bags of food and shit,
Oh, yeah.
just rotting. So it can smell like fast food rot. So it's not like putrescence, but it's not great. So we thought it was that, just that heating up in the summer. But then when the trash got emptied, it was still there. The stench was there. It was like omnipresent. If you opened the door for too long, it would come in. And somebody finally came over and they were like, so it smells terrible out there, and I just need a glass of water because I threw up. I think it's that dead duck over in the parking lot. Maybe you guys could take care of that. And it was a slow day, surprisingly enough. And my manager's like, I'm not going to make you do that on shift, but you want to check it out? And I was like, yeah, okay. So after shift, I was leaving as my buddy Brian was coming in. And I went out there with one of our winter shovels. And we're like, where is this? Like, because the smell is awful. And like, as you get closer to the edge of the Taco Bell parking lot, the smell just gets worse and worse. And every step, it gets worse. And you think, well, it can't get much worse than this. And then every step, it gets worse.
Yeah.
And like, you're outside, so you assume that like the wind is going to blow some of the stench away. Like the corpse smell will go somewhere else.
No, sir.
But there's so much corpse smell coming off of this duck that it cannot be moved. It cannot be swayed anymore. Like, even with the wind, it's just like blowing corpse stench into your mouth. So we're having trouble finding it because this duck has been camouflaged by a layer of sand. But we finally find it because there's a spot where the sand is wet, where the outside of the duck is slowly letting water out of the feathers and presumably decomposing. And this duck's body was swelled up like a basketball.
It's a pinata.
It was so fucking full of shit that its asshole had distended outside of its body, so its cloaca was like puffed out like a herniated fucking asshole, like puckered out, and it just couldn't pucker out any further. So it's this big fucking chocolate starfish colored pink just burf outside of the bottom. And I was like, this is bad. And like, by this point, the stench is intense, right? It's bearable, but only just because sometimes the wind blows harder than others and the smell goes away for a few seconds. And I'm like, well, at the very least, we could try to flip this onto the grass or something. And I had heard the stories of exploding animals, right? So I knew if we're going to do this, it's got to be arm's length, face away, flip it so even if it does explode, you're not going to get shit in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
Last thing you want is rot in your mouth. That's the end of the day. Maybe the end of your life. Who knows?
Some viruses are made right there.
Yeah, exactly. This is how coronavirus started.
At least it's not a whale where, like, when it explodes,
It
you have to dodge, like, blubber shrapnel.
when it explodes, it could actually kill you.
I
can
thought
crush your car.
people deliberately blew up whales.
Yes. Yeah, they will.
It was a disaster every time.
They will dynamite a whale specifically so that you don't have an exploding whale carcass on the beach.
Yeah, because I think it was one of our beaches, one blew up, and it almost leveled the houses nearby.
Jesus.
What? No,
Christ.
it was being moved. They were moving it for because it was like a full intact blue whale, and they were going to move it through the city so they could start it decomposing in a safer area. And while it was moving through the city, it exploded.
Really?
And it broke glass in the city streets around it because there's so much stuff that it wasn't like a forceful enough explosion that if you're next to it, you die. But there's enough of a deluge of rotted organs and meat that if you get crushed by that, you will die.
Oh my god.
So it like slooshed out like an entire swimming pool had just burst in the middle of the street, but the swimming pool is made of rotten flesh. But so
That's
back to this duck, right?
Yeah.
I managed to get the shovel underneath the backside of the duck and just barely tilt it up. And that layer of dust covering the top part of the duck, that must have been covering something. That must have been doing work, because the stench that came from that.
Oh my god.
I have, like, so I can still to this day say no odor has made me vomit, but that odor made me dry heave so hard. I wished I had vomited, because that would have been better than how much pain that dry heave put me in. Until that point in my life, nothing had ever affected me so bad. My body just reacted on its own and forced me to go in a different direction. But flipping, like starting to pry that duck up, it was immediate. It was like there was no will save I could make to keep myself rooted to the spot. It was an immediate fear effect. I flipped the duck, the face went above my head, and I went the opposite direction, just without thinking. I dropped the shovel and just left. I was like, I can't, it's terrible. It was awful. It was the worst stench. I don't know if that duck ever exploded or not. I never went back.
Yeah, it's gone now.
The
Like
smell-
that's a permanent feature.
The smell went away eventually, so maybe somebody got it. Maybe it burst and finally released its putrescence to the heavens. I don't know.
I think I ate roadkill before without even knowing.
Like on the road? Like you're
No, like-
you're
Just
like,
like-
you're like live squirrel,
I
live
guess-
squirrel.
I guess
live,
I should
oh,
explain.
No. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that sounds. This is like.
Yeah, it sounds a little
You're
more.
eating gum off the streets and you eat like a.
All right.
Accidentally ate a flattened bird.
All right. Well,
No, that's not
okay.
gum.
So, my girlfriend, her sister works at a nail salon.
Uh-huh.
The nail salon owner is super Vietnamese, like doesn't really know much English, and I was invited to their house because I helped mow their lawn while they were in Vietnam for a while. And when I got there, like her husband was cooking, and I don't know if they were fucking with me or if one of the daughters was fucking with me, but they're like, "Did you eat his food?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why? It was good." And like, that might have been roadkill that he picked up. He does that a lot, and I'm like, "No way, no." This can't be happening to me. I don't know what kind of meat it was. It didn't taste like anything familiar, so I think I did eat roadkill once in my life.
Nah, it's probably just regular squirrel. His daughters are probably either fucking with you or they like to say it's roadkill because eating squirrel is weird, especially if they were born here.
But
Although it could have been, I know we had one of the guys at my work was like, "Oh, I got a raccoon in the trunk," and I was like, "What? Like a live one?" He goes, "No, I found it dead, but it's perfectly intact." And I'm like, "What do you plan to do with a dead raccoon, man? You should get that out of your trunk." He goes, "No, I'm gonna eat it, man."
I'm gonna skin it and eat
Yeah,
it.
and I was like, no.
Rub its organs on my body.
I had to be like, "No, bro, look, okay."
That meat's tainted. Like you can't eat that.
No, okay, so even if it's not tainted, right? If that thing just gets like hit by a car and it wasn't sick or anything else, there's still a possibility that an organ ruptured. Actually, there's a high likelihood an organ ruptured.
Oh, for sure.
And if that's the case,
That means there's doo-doo all over its flesh.
it's not like that's gonna kill you to eat it, but it's gonna ruin everything. That's the reason you clean a kill immediately, because that way the organs don't start rotting and ruining the meat. Because if the meat starts rotting a little bit, they call that aged, and people like that.
That dry
But-
age.
But if the organs start rotting, it's called putrescence,
Yeah.
and people die. People have died from that thing.
That's the thing we don't like.
Have you guys ever had like a dry aged steak before?
No. I mean, okay, so supposedly yes, but I can't confirm.
All right. Well, anyone who listens to this, if you live in Minnesota, look up Restaurant Week. It's very cool. We went to the Capitol Grill. It's like $100 for like a fucking steak there if it wasn't Restaurant Week. Like, don't go there on a normal day. But for like, I think it was like $35. You get 3 courses. You get an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. So for my appetizer, I had New England clam chowder soup. Super fucking good. And then my main course, it was a 16-ounce dry-aged steak with mashed potatoes and not Brussels sprouts, asparagus. And then my dessert was a creme brulee. But boy, that fucking dry-aged steak was amazing, and it's such a good deal. And it was around Valentine's Day, like when they had this. So like, just postpone your Valentine's date, Valentine's whatever you want to fucking do, and just go during that time, and you
wouldn't
save
you just-
so much money.
Why wouldn't you just take a Valentine's date to that?
Well, that's what I did.
Well, so yeah, but why would you say postpone it?
Because it's not
Why would
on
they-
Valentine's
Because it's not on Valentine's Day, so you just gotta wait a few days. And also just wait a few days anyway, like to buy fucking roses. I went to Hy-Vee and got fucking roses. We do this thing where I get her another rose every single year we're together. So like, I got 4 this year. It was fucking $24 for 4 fucking flowers, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, well, a big part of that is roses aren't alive in Minnesota around Valentine's Day.
Well,
So-
yeah, that's
we're an
true.
icy hellscape at that time.
Well, and they sell it by the dozen for a deal, but I don't want a fucking dozen. I just need 4. It's good. Like
Did you go to a florist? Maybe the florist would be cheaper.
this rose strategy is good if like you don't know if a relationship's gonna work out when you first start. Like, oh, I'll give you 1 this year. You save money that way. I'll give you 1 this year, and then next year, you'll get 2. But if you turn 50, you're fucked. You're like, but like.
You take 50, you're fucked.
Yeah, you gotta buy 4 dozen, and a few extra on the
Yeah.
side.
So-
Hey, do you have a whole rose bush?
So, but I mean, if
I
it,
need your stock.
like if you want to be cautious, think, oh, maybe this relationship won't last after a year. Who fucking knows? It's a good strategy. You're free to use it.
You copyright your dating
what
strategy.
No, the problem is the strategy is stupid because what you could have done is just gone 1 rose and then that's it. And just keep going with 1 rose. So you could always just have the 1 rose strat. That's a way easy strategy. You can get 1 rose for like $3 at a florist.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you promise more, they're like, oh, I fucking love you. And I'm like,
This has
You
been
promise
Gabe-
more.
Yeah, Gabe's
oh,
with
next
Joe.
year you'll get 2. Huh?
You like that?
God damn. You better hope Sarah doesn't hear this shit.
Oh, no, she knows.
She's the one who said it. She's like, I like that shit.
Yeah, he trapped her and then told her the game plan. It's the ultimate power play because now she can't get mad about it later.
Exactly.
It's already been done.
Untouchable.
A perfect crime.
If I murder them and then tell them I murdered them, they'll never come after me for the murder.
That's what O.J. Simpson kind of did, isn't it?
No, O.J.
O.J.
Simpson.
Simpson
he, like,
got
came-
like he was kept tight-lipped the entire case, and the second he got out, he's like, "If I did do it."
O.J.
This is what I would have done.
O.J. Simpson listened to his lawyer, which is the one thing people in that situation never do. And because he listened to his lawyer, he got away with it.
Hell yeah,
Dude, his
dude.
lawyer did power moves in that
No,
court case.
his lawyer leaned very heavily on the one thing that he knew would sway a jury. Because that was the other thing, too. They were going to try it in a different state. And they moved it over to O.J. Simpson's state. Or the state where he was playing football for. I don't know if that's his state or not, but that was the whole thing was that they could move it to there. Because the lawyer knew that the jury there would be better suited to acquit based on O.J. Simpson being a member of their sports team.
Smart. That's smart, though.
He was his power moves pretty much all happened. He had won that case before OJ ever set foot
One
in.
of the big ones was like the prosecution stuff saying like, this is his glove, he wore the glove, but you can't physically interact with physical evidence, so he had to wear another glove before he put his hand in the glove, and of course he can just not cooperate, so the glove didn't fit at all, and then the guy had the power statement of, the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah, so the thing is, like when they talked to the jury afterwards, most of the jury said that move didn't actually affect him. They acquitted so they can get a signed piece of paper.
That's crazy.
They could get an autograph, and that was their acquittal move.
He's like, hey, I killed someone. You want an autograph?
Yeah, hey, if you acquit me, I'll sign your shit. I'll fucking sign your wife's titties if you say I didn't murder mine.
Hell yeah, dude. Honestly, though, like,
because if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Is a stupid. It's such a stupid move. It was just like a zingy like.
that's
because
the
court
Phoenix
case was,
Wright shit right there.
Yeah,
like an anime move.
because the court case was televised, it was just a show for the people at home. It was 100% just like, no, yeah, check this shit out, huh? Oh, he thinks he's so smart. Here's my quotable. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. And people at home would be like, it's a good line. It's a good line. What can I say? It fits well. Yeah, they did stuff about that later, too, where they're like, here's a leather glove of the right size soaked in beef blood. When it dries, it shrinks down like 2 sizes. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to put back on initially, but if you just go like, it stretches back out to its original size because the beef blood comes out of the pores in the glove.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, leather shrinks. Even if it gets wet, it fucking shrinks super bad.
yeah, but it's like if it's good quality leather, you can just stretch it back. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing, is that these are like quality driving gloves. And yeah, it was, yeah. The OJ case is interesting. It's super interesting to go back and watch.
It's one of the ones they actually talk about from what I heard in lawyer school. If you go to law school, you get there's like a week-long lesson on that case in particular, because there's just a lot of shit you can learn from it.
It's because it was full of great techniques.
It's a masterpiece.
It was. It really. So like, look, OJ did it. Everyone knows OJ did it. OJ knows OJ did it. It was basically nothing but this dude's guilty, right?
It's just like the president.
But so the thing was, like, he was guilty, but he got a lawyer who was extremely charismatic, right?
Wasn't that like Kim Kardashian's dad or some shit like that? Didn't he help with that or something like that?
I think he was their lawyer or something.
Some shit like
He's
I
a
know
big
they're
man.
involved somehow.
Yeah,
I
he's
just
a big
don't
man.
remember how.
But so he got this super charismatic lawyer who had done great work in the past, and he basically was able to get people off. Like when he was a defense, his defense was always just like, "Look at this guy. Check him out. Do you really think this guy could be a rapist, murderer, child collector? There's no way."
Collector.
Yeah, he doesn't diddle them. He puts them on a shelf until they die. He's a child collector. What can I
He
say?
keeps the foil ones in a few sleeves.
Yeah, do you think this guy could do all these things? No way. And like in those cases, it was one of those like, the guy might not be a child collector, so there's reasonable doubt. And I mean, the evidence of like the personal evidence, like, look at how well he's doing in court. Look at all the good things he's said. He's following the rules. He must not be all that bad. So that works, you know? It's a functioning strategy. So in the case of O.J. Simpson, I mean, the guy might be a murderer, but he's not super ugly. He's reasonably charismatic. He's an okay actor when it comes to not being able to put on gloves. Those are the 3 things you really need to be able to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and then the entire court case, he either looked kind of sad, looked straight ahead, or, just in general didn't react. So he, like, did the exact thing lawyers tell you to do. Like, look, if we're going for an innocent verdict, you have to look innocent. So don't look guilty, and it'll be all right.
Start carving a pentagram.
Yeah.
With your pocket knife in the fucking...
Sacrifice some babies in the middle of court. That's how you get innocent.
It doesn't matter how, like, if it was a crime of passion, don't say things like, "That bitch!"
Yeah. She
And,
deserved it.
yeah.
That cheating whore.
If somebody brings up something that, like, you didn't think they know, assume your lawyer already knows it, because that's your lawyer's job. So if they brought up something that's damning evidence, right? Like, say, a white Bronco with your license plates. Don't react. Don't go, "Oh, shit." Because that reaction gets caught, especially if it's a filmed thing. But if it's not, and your lawyer can be like, "His car was stolen that day," and there's already an eventuality in place for that, then you're in like Flint. It's done. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an alibi.
But he's still... What did he go to prison? Didn't he, like, steal shit or something?
Oh yeah, no, he
He
assaulted someone, didn't he?
A fan was selling his merchandise at a hotel he was staying at, so he raided the fan's place with a bunch of guns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, he went to jail, and then he got out, and now he plays golf and has a Twitter that is memed occasionally.
Yep.
Speaking of golf, like, Tiger Woods. I want to bring up the topic of Tiger Woods.
Okay.
Like, he won a Masters again. The last time he won one, he had hair.
Is he bald now?
Oh yeah, he's balding. He's looking pretty old. He has a lot of back problems too. Anyway,
Yeah, it's not surprising. He plays golf, so yeah.
yeah.
A lot of perfect form to uphold.
Like when he was in his fucking prime, why is it like our business to like know what he does in his personal life? Like, I get he's a fucking public figure and shit, but like, if this dude's gonna go and fuck some bitches, just let him go.
So
fuck some bitches.
here's where the problem is, right? Your personal life is only your personal life if you don't sell it, right? So say you're a big famous, I don't know, douchebag. You're a big famous douchebag.
Mike
Right? You're
Bloomberg.
Instagram. You're an Instagram doucher, and like you've got all the fame, all the fortune. People like all your fucking videos and pictures, but then you, I don't know, blatantly shoot a child in the face, right? Mm-hmm. Or
Well, I mean, he didn't kill anybody.
let's
like,
we'll rewind it. So you've
tilt this back a
you've
few
got
degrees.
you've got this hot girlfriend, and then you fuck like 40 other girls in your bed.
That's
Right?
about 300.
So like this is a
count.
bad look, right?
Yeah.
But if you're an Instagram doucher who only made his money off of Instagram, that's not gonna affect much, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just your word versus hers and the 40 other women you fucked in the bed, and there's no real way to pin that on you. But now let's say you're an Instagram douchebag and you're sponsored by Ralph Lauren,
Yeah.
right? Well, when you fuck 40 other women in the bed, it's not a good look for you. But for Ralph Lauren, it's a terrible look.
That's true.
And
That's
that's
true.
where the big news comes in. So this isn't like, oh, Tiger Woods cheated on his wife. How what a terrible person. Because like, yeah, he is, sure, but whatever. That doesn't affect his golfing thing. But for Nike, it's a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For
that
them-
affects profit margin.
For them, it's like, oh fuck, dude. That's we can't.
Oh fuck! I can't believe you've
Yeah,
done this.
that's exactly what
Straight
it was. Because like it's straight. It makes them money, right?
Yeah.
Like as long as Jordan doesn't fuck up, he makes money from Air Force or Air Ones. You
Yeah.
know, he just keeps making money off of it. It doesn't need anything else. But if Jordan were to cheat on his wife, he might not make that money on Air Ones. I mean, obviously Jordan's so big that they would just.
As I say,
press-
he's untouchable now. I
At
think
this
he
point,
could
they
do
just
it.
make Air 2s and claim that he doesn't, and give
they
him money
make
on the
Air
low.
2s and say it's Kobe.
Yeah.
But.
God damn it.
But it's, you know, like you for your sponsors, you have to be clean.
Yeah.
And that was
Once you become pretty much you're a mobile stock market, and you have to keep your own stocks up.
that was the big thing with like Michael Phelps, right? Like
Michael
Oh,
Phelps
he-
lost all his stocks right
the,
away.
the
He
reason,
smoked a bong.
yeah, the reason they were trying to take away his gold medals, it's not because weed is an ability enhancing drug. It's not like he was smoking.
If anything, it probably
Yeah, it would fucking kill it. And that was the thing. Like they were like, oh, it could give him a boost because he does it after a workout to help relax. And like, yeah, but you could do anything after a workout to help relax. You could go get a muscle massage. This is just a cheaper way to do it.
CBD oil is legal.
So it was, you know, he was smoking a blunt. So it wasn't CBD oil. He was straight up smoking.
oh yeah,
I thought he was smoking a bong. I saw a picture of him smoking a bong.
Yeah, he did that too.
So he did it twice?
Yeah, well, he probably
did it a lot.
smokes.
He
Yeah.
did it. He basically was doing it after every workout because that is a really good post-workout thing to do. After a workout, it helps relax you immediately. It helps lower your heart rate. It evens you out. It your body has an easier time breaking down the fats that
Yeah.
So it's legitimately a good post-workout move, but it's also illegal. And if you have a gold medalist who won 9 gold medals in a single sitting, and it turns out he's also a toker, well, it doesn't look good for the Olympic Games, does it? Because now you got some fucking pothead who's winning all these medals.
Yeah,
These days, he'd probably get like another gold medal.
He got some fucking try hard over here.
Like if he won them these days, like just the 10 years later, they'd be like, here's another gold medal for being a trendsetter.
But they ended up not taking him away anyways. And
Yeah.
also, his he lost 3 endorsements but gained 1 after that. Because somebody, I can't remember if it was Nike or Adidas, but somebody stepped in and was like, we don't care that you smoke weed. We want your face on our stuff.
We're cool. Would you
Yeah.
like to be cool with us? Would you like?
Hello, fellow kids.
We are in it with the chillins. Would you like to make money?
Honestly, it's so weird that like weed is illegal, but like alcohol is illegal to me. And I always find it strange sometimes because alcohol fucks you up. Like
So-
especially when you like binge, like it's bad.
Do you ever watch Adam Ruins Everything?
No, I don't think I. What is that about? Maybe I've seen it before, but
Yeah, so Adam Conover is a stand-up comedian. He did stuff with College Humor for a bit, and he has this bit that was on there but is now on AMC or something. Mm-hmm. It's called Adam Ruins Everything. And it's
Yeah.
where he goes through and breaks down common misconceptions and rumors and says, like, what the facts are that,
yeah,
So stuff like...
like an objective view of something controversial.
Yeah, well, it's like the like this, just the straight up facts, you know. So like people like saying stuff about circumcised versus uncircumcised penises, right? And he had an entire episode that was just like, here's just the facts. Here's just the base facts on why circumcision is stupid and why not being circumcised is, you know, not an issue. Which basically boils down to circumcision was a thing that was started to stop you from jerking it, because you would just wound your dick, and then jerking it wouldn't be as easy to do because you don't have the natural lubricants on the outside. And circumcision was good for cleanliness back when people didn't know what bathing was. But now that people know how to wash stuff, you literally just wash your dick like a regular fucking person, and you can avoid the growth of dick cheese. So at this point in humanity, being circumcised is really just not great. It's not a great thing.
It's like a culture thing now.
It's absolutely a culture, and that's the thing, because people like to think that an uncircumcised dick looks weird, which is true when it's not erect, but when it's erect, it looks like a dick.
Yeah.
It's the same dick. It doesn't change the shape of the dick. It just means there's a foreskin over the top of it, which actually helps with a lot of things, but that's all beside the point. So one of the things he did was on weed, right? Which had a lot of shit I didn't know about. The biggest one is weed was first criminalized, or first demonized, we'll say. It wasn't criminalized immediately, as a way to fight Mexicans in like the late 1800s, so like 1870s. There was a really big Mexican boom in America, and people didn't like Mexicans in America because we're super racist and we don't like to admit it.
Yeah.
So they needed a way to sway the general population to say that Mexicans are bad, and something that they do. It has to be something that they do, because you can't just out and out say Mexicans are bad and expect people to go, yeah, fuck those people, because it's not going to work out.
You got to find a way to incriminate them.
Yeah, and the way to incriminate them was weed, right? Because weed was a big thing in older Mexican cultures. From what I understand, it kind of still is. Because, you know, it's like being drunk without all the terrible after effects.
Yeah, it really is. It's
usually
they're out smoking trees and drinking cactus. That's what you do.
Yeah. So you know, so what they did was they targeted the weed. So what they said was, and this is an actual headline, you can look these up, marijuana causes Mexican men to thirst for white blood.
wow.
Claiming that
bunch of Wolverine or werewolves.
Smoking weed makes Mexican men want to fuck white women.
Hell
So
yeah.
it was the racist angle from one step removed, saying, you don't want mixed children, do you? Would you want your white daughter to marry a Mexican man?
He has reefer madness.
Which for some reason is one step. It's just far enough away from straight up saying, I want all Mexicans dead, to being like, I just don't want Mexicans fucking white women. Like, somehow that's acceptable. And then, so that carried on. One of my favorite things is there's a cartoon of like a Mexican bandito smoking a marijuana cigarette, and he's got the cigarette out and exhaling a cloud, and the cloud says Nazi propaganda. Because it was literally just anything. It's like, oh yeah, weed makes Nazis. Who knew? Truth is, it was meth. But you know, that's an actual thing too.
One of my least favorite anti-pot things is when Above the Influence was like a big thing.
Yeah.
The early 2000s.
The fucking flat bitch on the fucking sofa, like, she just fucking sits there like a pancake. This is all she does. And it's like, dude, that's me after drinking, like, one night.
Well, also, like, it's not even close. If anything, she's more likely to get up from the couch to go grab something or go do something.
Yeah, honestly, she's more intact.
Drunk me is way more interested on going on an adventure.
I definitely get the whole, like, you know, she sits there and does nothing, because if you get too high, then you do definitely just deflate.
Well, there's a difference from use and abuse, you know? Like, you gotta just be responsible for yourself.
Well, no, the big thing is, you gotta just not do it when you're young. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, after all this time, weirdly enough, it's coming out of Iran, I think, is right now one of the leading countries for, like, marijuana research. which is weird to me because I don't necessarily think Iran has the climate for like marijuana.
Oh, they do.
Or the culture for it. That's the
Not
other...
the culture. Well, I don't know. Like it's weird because people just grow like. What is heroin made out of?
Poppy.
Like they just grow that and opioids just in their fucking backyard like it's nothing, and it's.
Yeah, so it was one of those like
lawless West.
But yeah, so Iran's one of the leading ones, and their whole thing is like, look, when you're like pre 25, right? Basically, when you can rent a car, your brain is still making connections, but it's not forming the formative connections that are going to make you. It's making connections that allow you to continue learning, but it's not like, you know, flash in the pan every 2 milliseconds of a brand new connection is being made. You're not learning everything immediately. You're questioning more stuff and taking more time, and it's not as bad if you're getting high during that. But say you're a student, you're smoking all the time, your brain is going to start, you know, having trouble making these connections because part of the thing of THC is causing, basically slowing down the firing.
Oh yeah, you just zone the fuck out.
Yeah, but the problem is that causes huge issues of memory, right?
Oh yeah, straight up.
So like kids who smoke a lot of weed when they're younger end up having huge memory problems, not even when they're that much older. If you're smoking a lot when you're 14, when you're 16, 17, 18, you're going to start having problems with your short-term memory.
I don't know. Summer 7th grade to 8th grade, that was one of the first times I did. And yeah, I don't know. Like, after I did it the first time, like, I never have felt the same sense, like, in a strange way. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But maybe it's a loss of innocence. I don't know what the fuck it is. But
yeah, it's when you started becoming disillusioned.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing is, like, there was this guy. I went to a performing arts high school, right? And there was this guy there. He was a drummer. He was an amazing drummer, and you could tell when he was high because his drum would just be seamless. It was an endless flow of beats.
Oh yeah.
And he was so on point with it. But when you talk to him about anything else, it was an immediate like brick wall. Lost it. No idea what's going on. There was one point when we were talking about the effects of weed, and he was one of the first people I heard talk about, like, I mean, like, it's not as bad as everyone says, but it has really big problems with your short-term memory. And it has really big problems with your short-term memory. And we're like, are you joking right now? And he was like, joking about what? Like, he didn't know. He didn't realize
God.
he just said the same thing twice in a row. Because he literally forgot what he was saying halfway through saying it. And it was like a fucking cartoon thing or something.
It's like the CDC where they're like, don't touch your face as she fucking licks her finger to flip the page.
Please don't touch your face or eyes. Yeah. So, it was like, we know when it's wrong. We know when you shouldn't be doing it. It'd be super fucking easy to, like, you know, keep track of, but we just don't. We just don't do it.
Well, we also have like we have a really weird society in America around like drugs and alcohol. Where like I know overseas in the European countries where you can like drink as long as like family are present or something like that. Like you can start drinking at like 13 or something.
Like it's more, it's more 13, casual.
14? Yeah, it's
even in Wisconsin you can do that shit.
They don't have they have parties.
No, it's
of
21
course.
in Wisconsin now, but it used to be 18 in Wisconsin when it was 21 in Minnesota. So
I thought you could be with like a parent or something and
you can do
crack
that here.
a cold one.
Can you? Even in Minnesota, as long as there's a guardian present, you're not drinking on your own. You're drinking as part of an event.
Oh, okay.
It's like a party clause essentially, where if it's a family event, you're being watched, you're under supervision, it's okay.
Yeah,
but
it's like, but since it's not such a taboo thing, like, there's of course still parties and people are gonna have problems with it. There's always gonna be somebody who ruins it. But like we have such like when we grew up, it was nothing but dare, don't drink, don't go anywhere near any drug ever, or you'll die. Don't shower for more than 5 minutes, or we'll die.
Oh yeah.
Go in the Star Lab, or you'll die.
Dude, I fucking love Star Lab. That was the shit.
But like we don't have, because of that, like kids when they start doing it, they're like, oh, we're rebelling. And so like it becomes such a problem because it's like,
well, and like you
rebel.
feel like a criminal when you do it too. Like
you feel cool.
Well, it's not even that you feel cool. Like you might also just feel bad for yourself afterwards. Like, holy shit, what have I done? Like you have a guilt on your shoulder that society like hammered into you. Like which is strange. But honestly, like, growing up here in this boring-ass suburb, like, there's not much to do when you're a teenager. There genuinely isn't. Especially if you can't drive. In America, you have to fucking drive everywhere. And, like, I don't know, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Was so boring, like,
even
5 years ago.
So I actually, like, I never realized how bad the whole driving thing is over here in the U.S. until I went to visit Australia for those 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it is fucking ridiculous how fucking hard it is to get around in the U.S.
It's very hard. Like, it's so boring. If you can't drive, what are you gonna do? Ask your mom for a ride to pick you up again in a few fucking hours at a place 30 miles away or something? It's stupid.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, so, like, over there, right, there's town, or there's like the city. If you want to go do anything you could possibly want to do, you can go to the city.
Yeah.
In your town, there's like 20 things to do. They're all within walking distance.
Yeah.
I would literally do a lap around Sorrel in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Every day, I would go for a 45-minute walk around Sorrel because it was a thing you could do. Because you could just go for a walk and see what's going on, check out the weather, see the other people, do whatever. Who fucking cares? And that's, you know, well within walking distance. If I was hungry at noon, just walk down to the local bakery. If I wanted a fucking drink, I could walk down to the local bar. Then, you know, it's just called the local because at that point you're an alcoholic and why not?
Yeah.
But, like, anything you want to do, you can just walk to it. And if you want to take a bus, there's a bus station within walking distance of the whole town that'll take you right to the city.
Yeah.
And then from there you can do everything else.
But we lack that here.
We do.
Like, pretty bad. Like, we live, what, like 15 minutes away from being directly downtown in St. Paul, and it's like, it seems so hard to get there unless you drive.
Yeah,
and then you have to find fucking parking when you're there anyway.
So the worst thing is, like, where we are right now, right in this house, as the crow flies, we are maybe 5 minutes away from a bus station that can take us downtown. Mm-hmm. There is no walking path to get us to that bus station in 5 minutes.
No.
We have to cross over, we have to go through a park, go through a back alley, cut through the woods for a bit, walk through a swamp, go up to the road where there's no sidewalk, and walk along this unsidewalked road to get to the bus depot.
Yeah.
That's how we have to get to the fucking bus depot. And there's not like a bus stop outside of the house.
No.
That's not here. We're not in the city. That bus stop's in that one spot, and that's the bus.
Yeah, the closest I think we've gotten, I've been into, like, a functioning local transportation was when we were in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only time where I'm like, oh, we can hop on this bus, get this train, we'll be there in like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's super nice.
It blew my mind. I was like, this is so easy to, like, a little sketchy, but super easy.
Well, even if you're like in downtown, you can get around really easy. Just there's buses all over the place.
Yeah, like there are more buses than cars sometimes.
And the other thing is, like, now that they're adding the light rail, getting to and from Minneapolis is super easy.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, we're working on it, but as it stands right now, like, when I was a kid here, or a teenager, it's either ask for a ride from somebody who could, or it was stay here, just skateboard, smoke weed, and play horse at a basketball hoop. That was kind of it. Or play games. Playing games is a good way to connect.
Video games is
fellas.
like if I didn't play so many video games and card games growing up, I would have had to find something to do.
Garden.
Like me and Steven.
Can't even garden.
Me and Steven used to, like, before we really had like Xbox 360 and anything that could get online, we'd take tricycles down the big Pullman Hill, the little fucking plastic tricycles, and slam around on that shit.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, like, as time has gone on, it's getting harder and harder for people to find things that they can do outside, you know?
Yeah.
Like, my parents love fucking talking about, like, oh, when we were young, we would go outside and do this. Like, when you were young, people didn't have a word for pedophiles. They literally didn't. You can watch that Netflix documentary about that girl who got taken by a guy, and when they interviewed the FBI, they said, we didn't have a classification for pedophiles. We knew there were adults that fucked kids. We thought it was isolated instances. We didn't think it was a big thing. Back then, we didn't know what a pedophile was. So when you guys were out fucking around outside, you didn't know there was an adult who was watching you jerking off in his window because you didn't think that fucking existed. And now, everyone's so fucking scared of that stuff that you can't let your kids out of your sight. And even if you do, there's just so much more shit that kids can get into that actually hurts them. Kids have gotten stupider or smarter in ways of finding ways to kill themselves when they're young.
Dude, Tide Pod challenge. Who thinks of this shit, man?
Tide Pod challenge. Well, the Tide Pod challenge started as a joke, and people just did it for real for some reason.
It's one of those things you're like, what if? And then
and then some kid goes, but yeah, what if?
Yeah, what if we did kiss in
Dude,
the
I'm not
Waffle
gonna
House on
lie.
High Rothbell?
I'm not gonna lie, like, when I was, the first time I saw a Tide Pod, I was at my buddy Jared's house. His mom had tons of money, and like,
yes,
he had
Tide Pod's the sign of money.
it was a sign of wealth when they first came out.
I mean, it still kind of is.
Yeah.
The problem is that Tide has a fucking, like, just a 12-gallon bucket of cleaning solution.
Yeah.
And you could use that, or you could spend the same amount of money on one pack of Tide Pods, which is like 15 Tide Pods.
Yeah, so, well, anyway, I looked at that thing and I held it in my hand. I'm like, you actually look kind of delicious. It looks appealing, like something you would want to put in your mouth.
It really does, because like that, it's such candy colors.
And it's like a perfect, like, squishy
Yeah,
gummy.
it's
Like,
One of those things. Well, it's one of those things where like you pick up and you're like, I need to squeeze you.
and those fuckers are durable. Like, I just chucked one at Jared to be funny. It didn't fucking break. And then he chucked it back at me, like, twice as hard. Did not fucking break. And I was very impressed. So I just threw it at the wall as hard as I could. Did not break. But the second it touched water, it just fucking blew up. So,
well, yeah, because
I mean, that's what it's supposed to do. But
And that's its design. It's a feature.
I just thought it was funny because, like, I don't know. They do actually look kind of good.
yeah, Cascade got it right. Cascade made theirs very cleaning product colors.
Yeah, green and blues.
Yeah, dark toxic green and angry blue. Yeah.
With the red death orb in the middle.
Yeah, red death orb. The little fucking ThinkPad nubbin right in the middle.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
really, like, though I think Cascade had a little easier time because, like, their logo is very, very corporate.
Yeah.
Where Tide has, like, there's just the swirling colors, like, woo.
It looks appealing. Good for them. Good marketing.
Yeah, I mean, you got a good one there. Cascade only wins this because they look more corporate.
And they fucking wash
Cascade.
dishes. And it doesn't smell as good. Tide Pods smell really good.
Dude, Dawn dish soap. I have taken that for granted. We have like a green palm oil or something, a palm oil.
Yep.
I hate how it smells. It like it doesn't make me retch, but I want to avoid cleaning things as much as possible. And I'm like, I have taken Dawn dish soap for granted all these years.
Have you guys ever really, like... I think I've probably talked to you guys about this before, but... Like, the concept of, like, candy flavors, like wild cherry and blue raspberry. What the fuck is that flavor, actually?
so-
like, they're not real.
Blue raspberry is
That's not what a
fake.
cherry tastes like.
Banana's so wrong.
Oh, dude, banana is... Oh, it's like... Same thing with green apple. Green, like...
Grape?
What we can
Grapes
do...
don't taste like this.
What we can do is split these into 3 categories, right? There's, like, the cherries and the blue raspberry... Or the blue raspberries and, like, pineapple stuff. Mm-hmm. Where it's like they were getting there, and then they just stopped before they got there. Like, you know, a few hundred more iterations, you would have had this perfect, but you just didn't. Blue raspberry, obviously, a blue raspberry doesn't exist, but it does taste kind of like a regular raspberry. So,
Yeah.
all right. Then there's the, like, the possibly getting there, like green apple and, pina colada? Oh, no, pina colada is actually pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close, I'd say.
Somehow coconut is almost on cue
Yeah.
every time.
But stuff like, so green apple and, like, root beer, right? Root beer hard candies, it's like they started getting there. They were on the path to getting there, but they never stuck it out like cherry.
Yeah, straight up.
The A&W quit like halfway through, like, we already make root beer, we're done.
Yeah, and then there's stuff like banana and apple. That's the third category. We're like, this isn't. It's not. You're not right. You're incorrect in every possible way. Like, banana, bro, were you basing this off of dried banana chips? Because those barely even taste like banana at that point. But this tastes even further from those.
Yeah,
it's like
honestly.
you managed to get the starchy, dry shittiness out of it. And grape, bro.
Grape
Dude,
is so far off.
They just gave up. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
Grape is like purple drink is not the same as grape.
Grape feels like they were trying to make a flavor all their own, and when somebody's like, "What flavor is this?" they panicked and just spazzed out. And were like, "Yeah, "It's grape." And I was like, well,
The Dum Dum Company's my favorite because they're like, all right, well, we got some of the leftover shit. Let's put it all together and call it mystery.
That's a smart thing to do. I think, is it Airheads that does that too?
Yeah, Airheads
Yeah.
uses their leftovers.
yeah, Airheads makes a mystery flavor.
Airheads are so good, but like,
Airheads?
You
Get
can
those
only-
weird chunks in them?
oh yeah, dude, those
yeah.
things are just hard as a rock. What the fuck is that?
Austin and I were talking about this earlier, where Airheads are on the bleeding edge of almost a good candy.
they're like right at the cliff. They're like,
Yeah.
we can do it.
Airheads are like if Laffy Taffy stopped. Like they're like a Laffy Taffy that didn't graduate college. Like it went for 2 semesters and then they stopped. Like it's all the things you want, man. It's stretchy, it's thin, it's the right amount of candy, it's got good flavor. Its texture is weird.
Sometimes
kind of
it's
grainy.
inedible.
Yeah, occasionally it's awful. You don't know why.
I really love the orange ones. The orange ones are
Yeah,
really good.
I like
but
the
it's always the fucking watermelon ones for me that have those annoying ass like
the chunks.
the little. I feel like
the
I'm eating a
watermelon.
BB of some sort.
Yeah.
Like
Is it like the fake black seeds they used to put in the watermelon Airheads?
No,
it's
like the sugar that they use to make it.
just coagulated in like one little spot.
It's like they got a
fucking-
sugar scab.
Didn't mix it right.
Yeah,
No.
and it is always the watermelon because that's the one I like.
I was gonna say I just fucking like the orange one and the red one. The blue one I have some of it and then like I just don't want to finish it. I'm like, what am I
I
doing?
think I've outgrown Gushers at this point.
No, Gushers are the shit. I fuck with
Gushers,
Gushers.
Fruit by the Foot, and Fruit Roll Up. I have no desire to eat anymore.
See, the thing is, I have a desire to eat them, but not a desire to buy them. That's my
Yeah,
like.
like-
I'm at the point now where I'm like, oh Gushers, how I miss you. And then I pick it up and it's like, hey, you want to spend $12 for this box of 3? And I'm like, no, no, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
When I worked at Costco, that's when I went so ham. Like, it's because it's $10, and you're like, you just want like a fucking huge ass like crate of fucking Gushers. I'm like, yes, sir, please.
It hit me.
Yeah, well, that would be the point where it's worth it again. But like
Yeah.
for Gushers,
But if
you have to have it in mass.
Straight
if you
up,
have just
yeah.
like one Gush, like a box of Gushers, it's not
doesn't
enough
last.
Gushers. Yeah,
No.
like they've got the things you need, right? They're gummy. They got the gooey stuff on the inside. They don't taste like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything you want.
The only thing is that some of them pre-gush.
Oh yeah, you get the fucking
Yeah.
slop in the
Yeah.
bag.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, the bag that's at the bottom of the box, and when you open it, it's just a fucking mess.
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, because then it dissolves. The liquid on the inside dissolves the outside of the candy, so they clump together.
So it's just one giant fucking mass of.
It's not Gushers plural. It's Gushers singular.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the sack when you leave something in your car too long. You don't open up the candy. It's just a fucking ball.
Oh, straight up. I had Mambas in my car, and Mambas are just better Starburst in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
Now and later's Mambas, they're better.
I had it in my back seat, and that fucker just cooked in the sun for like, I don't know, a whole summer because I forgot about it. And I was like, oh, Mambas, this sounds good. And they like fucking leaked through their. It was just wrappers. The wrappers were inside the fucking Mambas at this point. How bad they melted. And I was like, well, you're inedible. I can't fucking eat you now. And I was very sad. I went to the dollar store one day and just binge bought a whole bunch of them. And yeah, that's the one I forgot about. I was happy when I found it, but sad when I opened it up. It was,
It was an up and
A
down
roller
day.
coaster of emotions. Yeah.
it was, I don't know. But one thing about Mambas I don't like is they fucking scab up my tongue. Like my tongue gets fucking raw from them.
Oh, like sour food, where it like starts tearing away at your taste buds.
Yeah, but they're not sour or anything. I don't know. Maybe it's the chemicals in it. Who knows?
You know what does that? I get like the roof of my mouth always hurts whenever I eat Subway.
Subway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be
So
something about
it's-
their bread.
So I think I know what you're talking about. It doesn't happen to me as bad, but like I get that feeling. I think it's the toasting. Every time you toast their bread, it shreds your mouth.
No, so it's not.
It's like fiberglass. I hate their bread.
It's like a deep rooted pain in the hard palate. I don't know what it is, and it does seem to happen less with untoasted subs. But it's something about. I'm positive it's something about their vegetables. I'm positive it's something about like either their jalapenos or their spinach or something that just just fucking, it ruins the top of my mouth. And it's not so bad I can't function. It's just like a noticeable like, shit. Okay, well,
a little bit of sucky.
it just hurts. It's just like a constant pain.
Subway for me, like, I hate Subway.
Yeah.
It has the Taco Bell effect, where no matter what you get, it just kind of tastes the same. For me.
No, you're right. I had,
like, I love Taco Bell, so I don't mind Taco Bell. But with Subway, it's like I feel sick after it. Like, it's not a good feeling. If I'm gonna get a sub, I'd rather just get Jimmy John's because
Yeah, but that's the problem. Is that, like, so it was the same thing when Quiznos came out, right? Quiznos fucking blew up because it wasn't Subway. Like, Subway's had their fucking hand in the sandwich market for so long, and stuff like Jersey Mike's or Milo's, they make better subs, but they don't expand like that. You know, they're not everywhere. So, okay, look, you can
Leon's here to ruin some shit.
Okay,
he's like, forget about it.
so
He's looking for Bunt.
yeah, it was like one of those. I wanted subs, right? Because
Yeah.
subs are good. They're great food. But I want subs from someplace like Jersey Mike's or something because like the second Quiznos hit the field and was like, hey, do you know for like $2 more you can get an infinitely superior sub? And I was like, well, now what I want? Why would I want Subway anymore? Why would I want some minimum wage fucking child to build me a sub that they barely understand when I could go out and get some minimum wage adult who makes me a sub that they love and love to make?
Yeah, like, something that pisses me off about Jimmy John's, and it's not the food, it's not related to taste. I fucking love Jimmy John's, but they don't fucking deliver to Sarah's house, and it is literally.
Dude, your house is in like the ultimate dead zone.
So
It's
one delivers
right,
to you.
It's right fucking next to Jimmy John's. They're like, sorry, we don't deliver there.
So can
It's
we?
not in our jurisdiction.
Yeah, can we expand this? Because I just had this problem. All right, just had this problem happen. So Jimmy John's started doing this thing, and they made a fucking commercial for it, which pisses me off the most. But it's their 5-mile thing, right? So Jimmy John's will only drive 5 miles as the road goes to get to any location.
Yeah.
Which means that Jimmy John's have turned into this weird gerrymandering monstrosity where some Jimmy John's used to be in good locations, now they're in terrible locations.
Yeah.
Because, because of the way you have to get out of the parking lot, it's almost a mile just to get to the road that you need to be on. So that cuts off like 4 miles of extra houses that they used to be able to go to. Because before it was a time thing, how long does it take to get there? Now it's a distance thing. So Pizza Hut started doing that too. My house was, I don't know, maybe 6 miles away from a Pizza Hut, which put me 1 mile outside of the area. That last mile is strictly from the exit to my house. So I was cut off from Pizza Hut because of being in the house that I'm in. If I was 1 block over, I could get Pizza Hut.
It's so stupid.
So if I want to get Pizza Hut, I have to have it delivered to another person's house. Then I have to wait outside their house like a stalker and steal my own pizza off their doorstep.
That's so weird. That'd be so strange. Like, but the thing about Jimmy John's that pisses me off is I'm in it's a mile, not even a mile away. It's like 3 blocks away. They just don't deliver to my town where I live now.
Oh yeah, so some places Jimmy John's will also just block off.
And it's like shitty. It's like, bitch, what? I can walk there, but it's cold as shit. I'm not walking. Driving, why would I do that? That's not convenient.
Driving, I don't have money.
I don't want to go outside. That's the point.
But that's the other thing too. They've got these like fucking so Grubhub, right?
Yeah.
Grubhub will deliver Taco Bell. I can't get Grubhub to deliver me Taco Bell. I don't know why.
What about DoorDash? Have you tried DoorDash?
No, because Grubhub is teamed up with Taco Bell. That's like their thing. So like Taco Bell can only be delivered through Grubhub.
Can it? I swear to God I saw it on DoorDash.
Mine can get... Ours can
It's just
because
expensive.
our Taco Bell doesn't have the delivery yet.
Oh, okay.
So, but for whatever reason, right, my Grubhub, my app, won't show the Taco Bell in my area. So I can't get Taco Bell delivered to me, which isn't a huge deal. I can just drive to it. But then every time I drive to it, they have the fucking sticker on every goddamn window in the building.
Just advertising.
Order through Grubhub. And I'm like, I can't. I want to Taco Bell. Why won't you let me? But it says nothing because it's a building and it can't fucking talk. So I'm just lost without answers.
And like 100% the people inside don't know either.
No,
The people inside, look, I was a person inside once. I know how much they know about those stickers on the window. Nothing. If I ask the person in drive-thru, they don't even make food. They don't know how to do this stuff. No. They barely even know how to use drive-thru.
I love our Taco Bell here, though. I don't know who he is. He just says full speed ahead all the time. I love you, full speed ahead guy. Like,
hey, full speed ahead. If you're listening, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, full speed ahead. You make my day every time you say full speed ahead. Makes me feel good.
But so like this whole delivery thing, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it because like on the one hand, you know, it's cool that more places are delivering.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I know I'm getting dicked out on money every time some place delivers to me like that.
Yeah, and a lot of restaurants actually hate it too. Like we go to late night Perkins runs, they're the only thing that's open, and so many people order through DoorDash, and like it's like one manager and like one person in the kitchen and one server. It's late at night, you know, and every time she picks up the phone, she's like, "Oh fuck, not again!" Like, I feel so bad. Like, she looks like she's on the verge of like just quitting everything in life, and she has to deal with fucking DoorDash now. I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for you.
Yeah, it's one of those where like, it's nice to have the business as the business owner, but when you run a sit-down style restaurant and you're now under a timer, it's so different. Because if you get busy, there's no fast way or acceptable way that person at that house is going to be like, I can wait another 10 minutes. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing is like, so there's this place really close to my house called Joe Sensors, right? I say really close. It's like 10 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I can order from Joe Sensors. The problem is Joe Sensors is like a bar, but it has really high quality food, right? Mm-hmm. Their food is immaculate. It's great to go there. And I like eating their food, but I don't like sitting down at a sit-down restaurant alone.
Yeah,
because you know
it's a little strange.
Yeah,
if you don't do it all the time, like I did it all the time when I worked overnight. But if you like don't do it all the time, like the first few times, you're like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do?"
Plus on overnight, it's okay. You know, like if it's past 10 o'clock and you're alone at a restaurant, you're either a sad sack of shit or you're here on break.
It's both.
But like if you're there at like 6:30, it's the dinner rush, you know. And it's even worse when you're like the only person sitting at a table and you see a group of 3 walk in and they don't get a table because your fat ass is sitting at one. That's another thing too.
Other people.
So like for the listeners, I don't know if you've ever seen me. I'm fucking fat. So when I sit down at a table, it's extra bad for me because they're like, "Oh yeah, look at fucking fatty over here, fucking eating all this fat fucking food." Well, we have to wait. We gotta sit at the bar and order drinks while fat ass finishes his fucking what was it? Tuna aioli salad. And I'm like, but it's so good. I want this tuna aioli. It's so fucking fantastic. I love it. And they're like, "Yeah, fatty, fucking piece of shit." They spit in my face.
I just bring my iPad and AirPods and just zone the fuck out, and just totally forget that like there's other people around me.
Start jerking it.
Like where was I? It was when I was at River Falls. There's like this I forgot the name of the place. There's this Mexican place. I went there one time. I did really good on my midterm. I'm like, fuck yeah, you know, treat myself. So I went there, just had my fucking AirPods in, watching YouTube. And I didn't know my fucking waiter was sitting there trying to ask me fucking questions. He was wondering if I wanted a refill, but he like was just standing there behind me. So like I stretched and looked over. I was like, "Oh shit, what the fuck are you doing here?" He's like, "Refill, sir," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, here, take this." But yeah, I just totally just disregard other people's existence. That's like a Zoomer thing to do anyway.
Yeah.
It's what always goes on in public. Like, how often do you actually really care about anything going on around you?
Constantly, all the
I
time.
was gonna say, like, there's
Like
even
if I'm already at a like when I'm driving, I'm always on alert. But like when I get to a location, everybody else at every other table stop is existing. I don't give a shit.
yeah, and
Unless I need to look at them because something is different. Like if something is horribly wrong, I'm like, okay, hold on. There's a TV show going on over here.
yeah, being an English major, you have a lot of debates in classes, right? And or just discussions in general. I just always say how I feel because like I look around, I'm like, I'm never gonna see any of you fucks again in my life. I genuinely don't give a shit about you. You are all my competitors. I need to do better than you for the high curve grade. Like, I just don't care about them.
Yeah, see, the problem with that kind of thinking is that you might. And that's where the big issue comes in. 'Cause
Well, then we can get along.
Yeah, it probably won't though.
Well,
That's
okay,
look, so here's the thing, right? Because a lot of people have had that kind of like, I'm never gonna see this person again. I don't fucking care about it, right?
Uh-huh.
But I've had people who've come up to me years later, and of course it's their fault. They approached me, you know. They thought they couldn't beat the shit out of me from far away, but in truth, they were, you know, it's on them. But they approached me and they're like, "Oh wow, hey, what's going on? You know, it's so cool to see you. Hey, look, I'm sorry I was kind of a dick to you in grade school." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you know, I mean, great. Thanks for saying you're sorry, I guess, but we're not gonna fucking hang out just because you're like, I'm sorry I was an asshole to you. That's on you, buddy. You made that choice."
Yeah.
You don't want to be that person later on where you're like, "Oh man, I'm gonna get this job at a fucking, you know, middle school teaching English," and then the other English teacher, because there's more than one, is somebody that you met back in fucking middle school, and you were like, "Man, I sure do hate gypsies. I wish somebody would just burn them all," and they're one of those fucking white people who's like, "I'm part gypsy," and now you get fucking crucified because you fucking hated on gypsies when you were in college.
Well, okay. Well, all right. The thing, that's actually happened to me before.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
figured it has because of how fucking outspoken you are about shit.
Cause okay, it's when I worked at Hy-Vee, I was a fucking busser for like 4 days, and then I'm like, this is
Oh
stupid.
yeah, you were at Hy-Vee for like a record short amount of time.
Yeah, Joe was the
You got the shirt and got out.
Joe was the turnover.
Like I walked. I was you know, doing my bus and shit. You know, I picked up these plates, and this fucking senile looking bald guy's like, "Hey Joe, you remember me?" I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? I don't know you." And so I just told him, I'm like, "No, I don't know you." And he's like, "Oh, you don't remember me?" And he just wouldn't. He kept saying shit like that, but wouldn't tell me directly like what I did or like how I offended him. And I'm like, "Go fuck yourself, dude. I'm just gonna walk away. I don't know you." Looking back, I think, okay, I was golfing at the time, actually. This is how I think I know him.
All right, our ladies and gents, let's take a trip through Joe's theater of imagination.
This is reality, man.
No. I mean, they can't see the reality you saw, so we have to imagine it in our mind's eye. Yeah.
And I gotta try to remember this thing that happened
Yeah, open
years
your
ago.
third
now.
eye. We're going on an adventure.
Yep.
So, I was with my buddy Maximo. Maximo, go fuck yourself. I hate you.
But thanks for describing him as my buddy, and then proceeding to
Ex-buddy, I shall say.
Gotcha.
But when he listens to this, go fucking cry, bitch. Anyway. But okay, anyway, we were golfing, and when you're golfing, if you golf after 3, it's really cheap. It's called twilight hours. You don't have you could go to any hole you want and just golf, you know, because who gives a shit? The sun's about to set. You can't golf in the nighttime.
Yeah.
So we were just going, Maxo and I were going, you know, hole to hole, just, you know, doing our thing. We don't keep score. We just liked hitting balls in holes. And this old fuck, I think, I didn't offend this baldy directly, but I think it was his dad. Because this old fuck came up to us, and he might have been there too, but he's like, "You guys aren't supposed to be golfing at this hole. This is the senior tournament happening right now." And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. I said I could golf wherever I want." And he's like, "No, you can't." And I'm like, "Watch this." And I just fucking drive the ball like into the fairway and flick him off and just drive off on my golf cart. And then like when we finished, they were finishing too. So I fucking sat. I opened the passenger window, sat on the passenger window.
The windowsill.
The windowsill. Full 2 middle fingers. I'm like, go fuck yourself, as we were driving away. And he looks so... He's old. What is he gonna do? Fucking break his back? I don't know. Like, so I think that's how he knew me. But I'm not exactly too sure. And the only reason I think he knew my name is because I had a name tag on that said Joe Busser. So he's probably mad I offended his dad. And to that Baldy and Hy-Vee, you two go fuck yourself still to this day. I fucking hate you.
Joe, why do you even try to present yourself as high class? You are the trashiest goddamn person. I like golfing, not because it's good for me or because I like getting out and doing it, but because I like just telling everybody to fuck off. Senior tournament? Senior my ass, and you wail on him with your fucking driver. I wear Ralph Lauren so I can flex on the poor people, which I am, but I'm better than them. Fuck you!
I'm literally like...
Double barrel.
I might trash at heart, but I look like the had to do it to him. Like, that's just how it is. I've zenned out since then. I'm an English major, okay?
You have not zenned out that much, my dude.
Well, some, to an extent. I'll say to an extent.
Okay, buckaroos. I have to pee.
Take
Really
a
bad.
go take a
It's
biz.
time to pee. It's the pee time.
Okay.
Pee time.
Break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All right. I don't know why we're getting all into this.
Yeah, we're literally...
Well, we're just excited for the Fiddlesticks rework.
Yeah, it is exciting, but that's not what we're here for. What we're here for is the end of this episode of Sour Hour.
What did we learn today?
Joe's an asshole to old people.
White people are trash.
White people are trash. Gypsies are also terrible.
Asterisk.
Look, refer to bottom of page for extra notes.
Yeah, extra notes. Conrad is racist against gypsies. I'm sorry. I don't hate you if you're of gypsy descent. I just hate the gypsies. You know, you're gypsy. You're just not gypsy.
Like the TLC gypsies.
Did you guys see that tweet? The person who's like, it's like what all white girls say, where it's like, you're insert race, but you're not insert race. You will mild stereotype, but you don't go and absolutely racist stereotype. So for me, it's like, look, if you're of gypsy descent, you're a gypsy, but you're not like a gypsy, you know? I mean, you'll talk about your various heritage, but you don't let your dog shit in the street.
Dude, okay, alright, to go back on this topic,
Oh, yeah.
this is a good topic, actually. I'm gonna pull the mic closer.
Yeah. Reset. Let's hit the top.
Like, something, it's not, I don't know if it's still a trend.
Yeah, just grab it by that.
But there's a good Somali community in Minnesota, and everyone I've talked to has been super nice, super coy. But when white bitches get henna tattoos, and they're like, I'm so fucking cultured, and I'm like, with your Ugg fucking boots and your fucking yoga pants and
The
your
Starbucks
dumbass
cup.
Caribou cup you have every day, shut the fuck up, dude.
Look,
you ain't shit.
It's one of those things where, like, it's super easy to brush the top layer off a culture and, like, claim the culture dust that got on your hands makes you cultured.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot harder to dive deep into a culture to learn stuff about it, you know?
Yeah.
I hang out with a bunch of Hmong people at work. I can, see that they like fishing. I can talk with them about whatever hardships it is of being a second-generation immigrant. But that doesn't mean that I'm cultured, you know?
No, you just know a little bit about them.
We know stuff.
Being cultured was when I went with one of them to, like, Hmong Village in Minnesota and bought a New Age traditional Hmong outfit and went to Hmong New Year. That was the cultured experience. That was the, like, okay, yeah. Doing the electric slide with a bunch of 80-year-old women.
Did you get a bunch of stares there? Every time I go there...
At Hmong Village?
Yeah, everyone just stares at me. It's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, but then after that, because, like, the first time it was that, like, wild-eyed, like, wow.
That's a big boy.
Yeah. So, well, no, that was me. I was staring, because, like, if you've ever been to a flea market, right? If you have never been to one, go. I know these two have.
Oh, we
It's
went to
so
one
good.
with our dad all the time.
It's
dude.
like it's like a garage sale that's good.
Yeah.
It's like if the rednecks were selling all of their cool stuff.
What and like if you can find a flea market like close to an Asian market too, it gets even better because they get those weird imports that you just can't get in the U.S. The knockoff Sonic toys that look just like Sonic, but they cost an eighth the price or something.
Oh, yeah.
So Hmong Village is like an indoor flea market, and it's fucking rad. You go in there, and it's like there's just stuff everywhere. There's stalls open all the time with all kinds of cool knickknacks and stuff. You want your weird knockoff, the Gacha League thing, where it's like Shrek and a Power Ranger and Superman. They got those there. That's a thing you can buy. And they're not even like prohibitively expensive.
No.
It's like $1 and you have your own Gacha League box. It's great.
My girlfriend's sister lived in the apartments right next to Hmong Village, so I went there a lot. And they have such good bubble tea there.
Oh yeah.
There's a few places to go. I think the one I went to, it's like in the far left corner, kind of around there. Their tip jar is like a super tall vase, and I always wondered how they actually get the money out of there. I'm assuming they just have like a butt plug on the bottom.
But they
like,
probably all small hands. You know,
Yeah.
they just reach in.
no, dude, like if their hands are this small,
There's a medical problem.
they need to get checked out.
They're
But yeah,
starting
like
to,
there's food on the inside, and those stalls have fucking great like Hmong sausage and stuff, which is fantastic. There's an ice cream shop that's part of it that serves this awesome fucking soft serve. It's great. It's a great place. But yeah, the first time I went there, obviously, and it's one of those like people think they're being really sneaky about how they look, where they're like, but like
Yeah.
I'm 6'1", I can see over the heads of everybody there. You're not being sneaky when you sneak a glance.
Yeah,
the old lady
same
in the
here.
corner is
You're
not even
like-
being sneaky.
Dude, you're like the watch drone in some like doomsday future sci-fi thing. You like
I-
turn around, your eyes beam at him like.
I absolutely felt like that because it was one of those like I'm looking around and I've got to be really cautious because some of the people there are legitimately like 4 foot or lower.
Yeah.
So it starts getting to the point where it is actually below my peripheral vision. So I have to like look down everywhere I go, like just slightly. So I'm legitimately looking down on the crowds as I wade through these throngs of Hmong people, trying to find my way to go to the clothing shop. And getting measured at the shop was, oh, dude, she had a measuring tape that went to 60 inches. That's the max. My chest is 63 around. So when she went to measure my chest, she couldn't get, she was behind me trying to like reach around, and I had to like reach down and grab the measuring tape to hold it for her so she could walk around me, circumnavigate my fat ass to grab the ends of it, and it was clearly like 3 inches short. It wouldn't touch in the middle. And she was like, oh no. And I was like, just say 64. Just 64 will be fine. That's okay. So, but the other thing is like, yeah, you might get weird looks. But like, look, if you want durian in the state of Minnesota, they have fresh durian there. I don't know, it smells like rotten gym socks, but it tastes like custard. So, trade-offs.
Yeah, the only other place
okay.
I've seen durian was at that Hot Tien.
Yeah, and that was frozen. So,
Yeah.
like, it gets extra creamy when it defrosts. So, it's one of those, like, I
highly recommend eating the food from any nation that you can. Experiment with food. Because it's like, you get such a window into what it's like to live there just off of what they eat.
Yeah, and especially if you can have food prepared by somebody who's actually from that nation.
Yeah.
You gotta get that street food. That's,
Yeah.
that's
You
where
gotta get the
go.
food that they get that, like, if you were visiting, you wouldn't go to.
Yeah. Eat the thing that wouldn't be served in a restaurant to white people. That's the one you want to get. If you think that you want to join into a culture, eat that culture's slightly weirder food. And if you like African culture a lot, try slime soup. It sounds disgusting. Its consistency is disgusting, but it tastes delicious. It's this wonderful, wonderful, very, vegetable-y, spicy soup base that just has a lot of ochre in it, so it, slimy. But
I could say that concept should just go deeper. Like as a human being, I'd hate to coin the phrase YOLO, but like try everything at least once, because that might be your only chance to fucking do it. You might as well. This is don't let an opportunity pass you down.
If
I
you
don't
get-
want to sound
if
like a
you get-
motivational speaker,
Well, but
but
some stuff. The other thing is like some stuff you probably will only get one shot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when it comes to like weird foods, you might never see that person again. And if they're offering you something that you might not like, just try it and make sure you don't like it. If you have a very narrow palate, something that can only handle a few things, you would be amazed at how much stuff manages to have depth of flavor without offending a sensitive palate.
oh yeah,
Indian cuisine does it all the time.
because yeah, like the first time I had Vietnamese food, I didn't even want to ask what was in it. Lo and behold, it was blood clot soup.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that until I was done eating it and enjoying it. So if I knew it was blood clot soup to begin with, I would have been like,
Yeah, because
No way. There's no fucking
blood
way.
pudding is something we don't have in the U.S. We don't sell it at our stores.
But there's a lot of stuff, like, meat pies, right?
Shepherd's pie. I had a shepherd's pie not too long ago.
Yeah.
Almost nobody makes that.
Yeah. A lot of those, like, meat-based pastries, blood pudding. There's a lot of organ meats that, like beef tripe or pork tripe, right? That's a thin sliced intestine that's fried. People think of that as a lesser food. It's organ meat. So you'd be like, I don't want organ meat, but it's really good. It's got this lovely, crispy, slightly chewy texture, and it tastes like pork. It's great. And, I feel like we're missing out on a lot of that because our super processed foods and our highly processed culture means that everything that goes into the melting pot kind of just becomes ketchup and mayo. But there's so much more to life than ketchup and mayo. There's so many things that you could try.
Yeah. Try to pronounce Worcestershire sauce more often, okay?
Yeah.
even Worcestershire sauce is pretty basic.
Yeah,
I'd say.
it's very
it just has a
basic.
funny ass name.
It's Arby's sauce. Arby's sauce is like 80% Worcestershire.
It's true.
It's mind blown. I know. Secrets unveiled.
Arby's is going to come after us now.
Yeah, we better get out of here. This has been the Sour Hour. I'm Austin,
I'm Conrad.
I'm special guest Joe.
and none of us are better than Air Gear.
I am.
Just fucking